Hello everybody and welcome back to Screen Stars. I've just finished the final episode of the Telltale Guardians of the Galaxy game, and I thought I'd give you my feedback and thoughts on the game, kind of like a review. I'm really quite a big fan of the Telltale games. I find them really fun to play. They're quite relaxing, they're not too intense, they're like kind of movies and comics that come to life, and they're not overly difficult to play. And I've pretty much had a go at all of them. I think the majority of the games that they do are really high quality. So naturally, when I found out they were doing Guardians of the Galaxy, I was immediately interested. Who wouldn't be? You would automatically think that it would translate very well into a Telltale game. I actually think it would translate very well into any kind of game. But we've got a Telltale game rather than anything else with Guardians of the Galaxy. And what do I think of it? Well, after playing it overall, I think it is pretty good. It has its strengths and weaknesses, and I think sometimes what lets it out is the fact that there are so many characters to give screen time to here and give plot points to, and that is kind of what lets it down. In the majority of the other games, you've always got a couple of main characters, and the rest, they get their moment to shine here and there, with the possible exception maybe the Game of Thrones one, but I thought they did a good job with that one. And essentially the story here throughout the 5 episodes, and I won't go into spoilers, is the first episode you almost immediately are called into a battle against Thanos. You are successful in that battle, and as a result of that, you come across this powerful artifact that has the power to bring back the dead. So therefore you and the team have got a massive target on its back. And as each episode goes on, the repercussions of the choices you make in regards to this artifact are felt throughout the team. Because they all have pretty much a viable option as to why they should have use of this artifact. There is a new baddie introduced that unfortunately is nowhere near as interesting as Thanos, which is a real problem for the game. I think for us just to have Thanos in the first episode, and it's not a spoiler this, because you see what happens to Thanos very quickly. To go from Thanos to the actual villain that they give us is a bit of a downer in this game, but it's not too bad, I suppose. So each episode you've got the usual things in this game. You've got your choices, you've got your action set pieces, and you know how these Telltale games work. Do I think there are any strong and weak episodes here in this? Yes, I think the first episode, and to be honest, I can't remember the names of them now, but you get 5 episodes, and I thought the first one was really very good indeed. I enjoyed it tremendously, and I thought probably the last one was pretty good. But there are a couple of weak ones here. Now, what lets this game down a little bit is sometimes the interactions between the characters. While always fun, and the guy that voices Peter Quill does a great job, Star-Lord. He's very witty, he's very funny at times, and we've got Nolan North doing the voice for Rocket Raccoon, which is great fun. They all embrace the characters. You all feel as though they represent them well. You don't feel as though anybody does a poor job with the voice acting. But it kind of felt at times like you were dealing with whiny babies, and every episode, one wrong move and you were going to upset one of them, or one wrong move and one of them was going to leave, or one wrong move and they were going to get cross with you about this, and you do something with one of them, you please one of the characters, and another one's really annoyed with you. You can't win whatever you do in these episodes. It got a bit frustrating, and I got a bit fed up with it, I have to say, because no matter what you did, you always end up with one of them whining at you like a baby. And that's part of the fun of the movies, when they have these arguments and stuff, but it was constant. And it did get a little bit tiresome, I have to say, some of the interactions between the characters. Where it was absolutely at its strengths was when they did like the scenes where you had to join together to battle the enemies, and you had to use each character's special abilities to get through that particular battle scene. For example, Rocket Raccoon, you would have to make use of his weapons, and Star-Lord, you'd use his rocket boots in one particular section, Gamora with her swords, Groot with his plant arms, that sort of thing. That was when it was absolutely at its strength, and it was great fun at times. The soundtrack was awesome, very in theme with the Guardians of the Galaxy, the 70s music. It was fantastic, really good. I think there are moments of this game where it absolutely shines out, and moments where it feels a bit of a drag, and it's almost just, I feel like there were too many talky bits in this and not enough action at times. And you could probably say that about every single Telltale game, that there are bits like that in every game. But I hoped for a little bit more of a space adventure here, I suppose, with Guardians, and it was more like running a crash almost, dealing with children and stopping arguments and things like that, and trying to please everyone all the time. So there are aspects of it that did frustrate me immensely, but there was big sections of the game that were incredibly enjoyable, and I would certainly say, if you're a fan of the Guardians of the Galaxy movies or the comics or just in general the characters, I think there's a lot here to enjoy. Definitely. Is it on par with the best that Telltale have ever done? No, I don't think so. I think there's quite a few more that are better than this. I think I would like to see more of Guardians of the Galaxy on Telltale, and if they are going to do a second season of it, as they like to call them, then I hope they focus less on the moany gripey parts of the story and falling out all the time, and more on the adventure action stuff, because that's when it's at its strength, this game. But if you like the Telltale games and you like the format, you know what you're getting with these games. You can kind of chill out while you play them. You're not going to get too punished if you make too many mistakes. The choices that they try and make you feel are really important don't tend to be. I mean, for example, there was a part in this game where I made a very difficult choice for one of my characters that ended with a death, and obviously I'm not going to tell you what death, which was quite impactful. But then the very next episode, it was kind of all alright again, and it was almost like, well, that meant nothing. That huge decision I had to make, you didn't follow up on it. You weren't brave enough to let me stick with that decision. So you never really felt punished with any decisions that you made in this game. It was almost like they kept giving you get out of jail free cards. So it's not too harsh on the decisions you make, whether that's a positive or a negative. That'll let you decide. But yes, if you're a fan of Telltale and you're a fan of Guardians of the Galaxy, this is a game certainly to consider. They're very cheap to buy these days now, the Telltale games. I mean, when they're new, you pay something like £25, which is probably about $30 for all the 5 episodes. That's nothing these days. And now it's been out a while, you'll probably be able to pick it up much cheaper too. So I would suggest, if you're a fan, go out and buy this game.